everybody, welcome to another Wacky Wednesday on the Leek. This is Wacky Wednesday number 12. I'm John, as always, and we're going to be doing something a little less wacky today. Longtime viewers might know that we kind of run the gambit from not that wacky to what the hell am I doing in this draft wacky. This is going to be one of the less wacky days, as I said. We're going to be going back to Cube. I've done Cube once on this channel, and the Cube on Magic Online had a pretty big overhaul lately, and they've renamed it to Legacy Cube. They've taken out every card that is restricted in Vintage. So you're not going to see any power. You're not going to see anything else like that. I feel like they possibly took out everything off the reserved list. I think that might be one of the things they did, which means there's no original duels and things like that. So it's an ever so slightly less powerful cube than the Vintage Cube will be. The Vintage Cube, previously named the Holiday Cube, is now going to appear more than just each holiday, and that's going to have all of the big vintage cards. So I haven't played Cube that much. I have my own cube. It's nowhere near a Legacy Cube. It's much more a modern cube, I would say, simply based on the cards that I owned. But I don't have a lot of Cube experience. I have the video that I've done for this channel, and I've done one other. So I felt like Cube really has a home on Wacky Wednesday here. I'm nowhere near good enough to really classify this as a Spiky Saturday video. And it's sort of wacky. You know, it's not normal Magic. You can't just walk down to your local shop and play this specific Cube anyway. Some shops do have Cube. But we're going to jump in this and see how it goes. It could go anyway. I have no real idea at all. I believe a lot of the archetypes are still there. I think Reanimator is still a thing. And I think Sneak and Show is still a thing. X-color good stuff is always a thing in Cube. I know Mono Red is a thing. But we'll see what we open and see where we might want to go. So for those not familiar with Cube, Cube has a lot of powerful stuff. It does have the original duels. So for example, we're staring down a Jace the Mind Sculptor sitting here. Beside an Elish Norn, 2 original dual lands, a Wasteland, Lightning Greaves. I kind of feel like taking the Jace. I kind of feel just like taking Jace and being super mega control deck. Because when else am I going to get a chance to muck around with Jace the Mind Sculptor? Other really good first pickable options here, I don't necessarily see many, at least off of my knowledge of the cards. He could be good in a red sort of burn deck maybe, but I have no knowledge of that one way or another. I believe there is a white weenie deck, which Elish Norn is probably too expensive to fit into, I would think. But it would be one hell of an anthem for your weenies if you did pull it off. But I think we're taking Jace here just because it's Jace the Mind Sculptor. I'd love to get Mana War back around. That would be a pretty solid card for it. It would put us a bit more tempo-y, but that would be fine. So there we go. We've drafted Jace the Mind Sculptor. We're good. What do we got here? Well, we've got a Nissa. We've got a Geist, which could be interesting. If we did want to go a bit more tempo-y, a bit more creature-y. Intuition. Search your library for 3 cards, reveal them. Target opponent chooses one. Ew. So it's like a triple tutor, but your opponent gets to choose the card? No, thank you. Deep Analysis. Target player draws 2 cards. That would probably be me. Pretty good flashback for it. So it's kind of like Weave Fate. It's a 4-mana divination with flashback. Not bad. Moloku. What does she do again? She's a flyer, 2/4 for 5. Pay 1, return a land you control, and you get a 1/1 illusion creature with flying. That's alright. I think maybe I just want to take Geist here and look at blue-white tempo-y, maybe just blue-white flyers. Black Sun Zenith lends me, or puts me down the control route a little bit, but I think we'll just take Geist here. Just go mono blue-white mythics. Let's see. Teferi. Not the Planeswalker one, unfortunately. A 3/4 for 5. Flash. Creature cards you own that aren't on the battlefield have flash. So he's like that green elf from M14. Each opponent can cast spells only anytime he or she could cast a sorcery. So instants become sorceries. Alright. It's not great. Tundra might be fine. This does look like a bit of a weak pack overall. Far and away would help us if we wanted to go blue-black tempo. Probably wouldn't want Sorin for blue-black tempo necessarily. The triple black is a bit hard. Far away, Tundra. Far away, Tundra. We've got the Geist. Let's take the Tundra. Journey to Nowhere is basically what? It's basically Oblivion Ring, right? Yeah, it's basically Oblivion Ring only for creatures, not for permanents. Yosei, target player skips his or her next on tap. Blue-green, Sundering Titan, Flicker Wisp. Nothing great here, I don't think. I've got a Kukusho as well. It's a pretty big bomb in black. I feel like I'd rather stay blue-white, though, with this Geist. Could go Goblins. Yeah, let's take Journey to Nowhere. It's removal. It does what it does. Serum Visions, draw a card, scry 2. Not as good as scry 2 draw a card, but still pretty good. Looter Il Core, Angelic Destiny would be pretty big thrown on Geist of Saint Draft. Wall of Omens would be a nice hold us off spell. Angelic Destiny or Wall of Omens? I like Angelic Destiny, I think. Throw it on Geist. Maybe we can pick up another hexproof creature or something. Yeah, let's take Angelic Destiny. Dictate of Heliod, no thanks. Brainstorm could be good. Brago. 2/4 flyer. Whenever he deals combat damage to a player, exile any number of target non-land permanents you control. So blink stuff. Could be interesting. I feel like maybe I just want Brainstorm, though. Brainstorm or Brago? Let's take Brainstorm. So I'm all in on Angelic Destiny on Geist of Saint Draft. Pact of Negation could be okay. It's also the only card in blue-white in this pack. It looks like red is seriously open. Although, I mean, I guess the red cards aren't amazing exactly. But yeah, I think we'll just take the Pact. If you're not familiar with them, the Pacts are kind of a cool card. They're 0 casting cost. And so you can play them even if you don't have any lands on tapped. But you must pay for them the next turn or you lose the game. So it's a 0 casting cost spell. I could play it on turn 1, but I'd lose the next game. I need to have 3 blue-blue available next turn in order for me to actually keep going. Secret of the Way, I guess, is the card. It's not exactly control, but I think maybe we're going to push away from control a little bit and be more blue-white tempo, blue-white, just good stuff, just creatures. Winter Orb, no. Evil card. Yeah, red looks open. Bushwhacker's okay. Anger of the Gods is alright. Chain Lightning is good. But yeah, let's take Seeker. Since I don't know the set or the format as well, I think it's best that I stick kind of just to 2 colors and not really try to go off into something thinking that it's open, because who am I to say it's open? Well, I could take a Wasteland. I could take a Lightning Greaves. I don't know. I don't think Wasteland would be that good. What are the non-basics? Are they just duels and stuff like that? We could take red-white. It would help us splash for a red card down the way because red seems open. Yeah, seems fine. Intuition I don't really want. I don't want either of those black spells. We did just take a red land. We could push into red, but none of those are terribly worth it. I mean, Museum Orders would be the best. So I guess let's take that. Oops, let's close Skype. Had my work Skype logged in. Don't necessarily need that jumping into my video here. Well, Boros Charm would be an okay pickup with us being red-white. So let's take that. Nothing I really want here. I'm not going to play a double red. I guess let's take the Fire Blast. Not going to play it, though. Maybe I just go red. Let's take the Chandra's Phoenix. Don't think I'll play it as well. Gorehost Chainwalker, alright. Bloodghast. Well, we may have to make a choice here. We may have to splash blue, which means I wouldn't get to play Jace. That'd be awful. Alright, what do we have here? Nothing good in blue? Nothing great in blue. We've got Stormbreath Dragon if we wanted to go the red. Linvala, activated abilities creatures your opponents control can't be activated. That's pretty decent. Frontline Medic, no. Windburst Kites, it has Hideaway, right? Pay white, tap, play the exiled card without paying its casting cost if you attacked with 3 or more creatures. So, do we start pushing red? It does seem really open. But I feel like I'd be throwing away pack 1. Maybe I just take Linvala. Yeah, let's just take Linvala. Path to Exile. I like that. Goblin Guide if I wanted to be mono red. Pretty good. But yeah, I think I'll take the Path to Exile here. Maybe get Delver back. Disenchant. 8.5 tails. What do? You're a Fox Cleric. 2/2 for 2. 1 and a white, target permanent you control gains protection from white until end of turn. Pay 1 colorless, target spell or permanent becomes white until end of turn. So 2 and a white, and you give your creature protection from a spell you don't want it to hit. It's not bad. Or a good old Snapcaster Mage. Could Snapcaster back Pact, or Brainstorm, or Path, or Urine Enchantment. Boros Charm even. Snapcaster or 8.5 tails. I'm going to be pretty heavyweight, so 8.5 tails wouldn't be terrible, but I think maybe Snapcaster is a bit better. Let's take Snapcaster. Let's get rid of that Gorehouse Chainwalker, that Chandra's Phoenix. What are you? 1 way to wait for 3/2 Vigilance. When it dies, put X spirits into play where X is the number of creature cards in your graveyard. Not terrible. Sphinx's Revelation might just be better. I wish I had a way to play Emrakul, but I don't see that happening just yet. Well, maybe Spellskite's a better pick. Spellskite, Sphinx's Rev. Let's take Spellskite. I don't think we're quite controlly enough to really push for the Sphinx's Rev. Couple of good white cards here. Council's Judgment. So, Will of the Council, starting with you, each player votes for a non-land permanent you don't control. Exile each permanent with most votes or tied for the most votes. Essentially, exile target permanent. In a multiplayer game, that would be different, but in a 2-player game, it's going to be exile target permanent, or your opponent screws up and it's exile 2 target permanents. Or Brimaz. Both are pretty good. I've got 5 creatures. I feel like I have a good amount of removal. Journey to Nowhere, Path to Exile. What's more replaceable, Council's Judgment or Brimaz? Let's take Brimaz. Elite Vanguard is a totally okay 1-drop, but is nothing exciting. Eternal Dragon, pretty expensive. I can return it from my graveyard during my upkeep. It's alright, but that's so expensive. Serendib Efreet, 2 and a blue for a 3/4. It deals 1 damage to you each turn. That is totally okay. And that's what we're going to take, actually. Let me get rid of that Museum Order. Gilded Lotus, Seal of Cleansing. Destroy target artifact or enchantment. So it's a disenchant that you don't have to use right away. It's kind of interesting. Nothing great. Maybe Precursor Golem, but I don't necessarily want to play it. Let's sideboard it for now. Gather the Townsfolk, Force Spike, Nykthos. Let's take a Force Spike, I guess. Let's see. Not a whole lot here. I don't know if I'll be attacking with 3 creatures often enough to really use Windbrisk Heights. Grafted Wargear, +3/+2. Whenever it becomes unattached from a permanent, sack that permanent. It's not terrible. I feel like I need more creatures, though. But there's none here for me. So I guess we'll take the Forbid. Another counterspell. Ugh, nothing here for me either. Oh, let's get rid of the Tide Hollow Sculler. Not much here for me. Search your library for an instant card or a card with flash, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your library. So it's a tutor for an instant spell. Sure, don't want to play it though. I want to get nothing but creatures in pack 3. Nothing but creatures. Thankfully, this is a Swiss tournament that I joined, not the single elimination, so I will get 3 matches out of it. I think if I lose every match, I still get like a couple Phantom points or something, so that's okay. I guess Hallowed Spirit Keeper, it's a creature, and we need them, and it's in our colors, so we're going to take it, and we're going to play it. Let's get rid of you. We're, of course, not going to have that many creatures in our graveyard to really make it do too much, but it is a 3/2 Vigilance for 3. And we could always throw Angelic Destiny on it and make it bigger and flying and first striking. But of course the ideal target for our Angelic Destiny is Geist of St. Traft. Ooh, the Vanguard came back. Currently curving out at 4, which is pretty nice. Technically 5 with the Pact, but that's okay. And Forbidden Alchemy. Sure. Not going to play it, I don't think. Well, the nice thing is, of these 18, there's nothing I really want to get rid of. Hallowed Spirit Keeper is probably my first cut. All right, what do we get? We've got not much. We've got a Student of Warfare, which is a 1/1 for 1, and I can level it up for 1. Immediately after the first, or no, sorry, after 2 level ups, it becomes a 3/3 first strike. And if I somehow get it to 7 levels, it's a 4/4 double strike. It's all right, but not amazing. Honor of the Pure would hit 1, 2. Angels are white, right? 2.5-ish. 3, 4. Honor of the Pure would hit a number of our cards. Pester might flash. When it enters the battlefield, you may tap or untap target permanent. Condescend. I don't like any of these choices. I would need a lot more creatures for Honor of the Pure to work. So I think we're going to take Pestermite. Not a big fan of that pick, but it is what it is. On a Johnny. Cloud Goat Ranger. Those are our picks. Ooh, the new commander planeswalkers are in this cube. There's Fraelis, Lanore's Fury. So a Johnny or Cloud Goat Ranger. I need creatures. A Johnny is not a creature. Cloud Goat Ranger is a creature plus 3 other creatures. But he is a 5-drop too. Vidalcan Shackles is an option. I think I'll take the Shackles, actually. So we can steal one of their creatures. Ooh, Archangel of Thune. I think that might be the pick. What are you? Waterfront Bouncer. Oh, you're the original Bouncer, aren't you? Discard a card, bounce target creature to its owner's hand. That's okay. You'd have to pay and discard for it, which is kind of a pain. Otherwise, we've got Hound of Konda, which is a good old legendary 2/2 for 1. But I think we're just going to take the Archangel here. Big creature. Help us put away the game a little bit. We're taking it for sure. If I was the Honor of the Pure deck, Izumura would be quite a nice pickup. I think. Of course, take everything I say in this video with a grain of salt. I don't have the experience with Cube as some others do. So what I'm trying to do is apply knowledge that I have of Khans and Theros and Innistrad and Ravnica and etc. to Cube, which is of course a very different format. We've got picks. We've got a bunch of picks. We've got a Hollowed Fountain if we really wanted it. We've got Entreat the Angels. We are main white, so the double white is fine in the Miracle cost. The triple white is pretty okay. Cyclonic Rift is decent. Old Man of the Sea, 2/3 for 3, can choose not to untap him. Tap, gain control of target creature with power less than or equal to Old Man of the Sea's power. So 2. So not great unless you really go all in on him and have a way of making him pretty big. So I think we'll just take the Entreat here. It'll count as a creature and ideally sometimes even more than a creature. Soldier of the Pantheon or Talrand. Well, we do have a lot of instants or sorceries. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We've got 7. Yeah, let's put them in. So there's our 23. Now we get to start making cuts for our picks if we get more powerful stuff. And do we get more powerful stuff? Well, we get the Blue Dragon. When he dies, gain control of target creature. That's actually relatively decent. It is a 6-mana 5/5. Myria Angel, 2 white for a 3/3 flyer. Landfall, you get a bird. That's alright. There is also just a Detention Sphere. And I think maybe I just like the detention sphere. Take the detention sphere to replace the forbid. Yeah, let's do that. Condemn is pretty decent. Savannah Lions, Cami of Ancient Law. Sacrifice, destroy target enchantment. Riftwing Cloudskate, 2/2, suspend 3, 1 in a blue. Flying, when it enters the battlefield, bounce target permanent to its owner's hand. That's pretty okay. Riftwing Cloudskate, Savannah Lion, or a Condemn. Let's go with the Cloudskate, replacing something, and I'll figure that out during deck construction. Let's see. Target player draws X cards. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may put a treasure counter on Legacy's Allure. Sacrifice it, can control target creature with power less than or equal to the number of treasure counters on Legacy Allure. Karmic Guide. 3 white for a 2/2 flying pro-black Echo, so you have to pay its casting cost again the next turn or else it goes away. When it enters the battlefield, return target creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's decent. Could bring back Archangel, could bring back Geist. Don't know if I want it though, but we'll see. So Student of Warfare came back, as did Honor of the Pure, as did Condescend. I feel like Condescend might be a bit better than Force Spike. Yeah, let's take Condescend, get rid of Force Spike. A few things I need to get rid of. I don't think I actually want that Karmic Guide. Ooh, a Johnny came back. I think I'm going to take a Johnny, I think. Replace Boros Charm with him. Yeah, let's do it. Get rid of Boros Charm. So one more cut. What are we sitting at for instants and sorceries? We're sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't have quite as many anymore, so maybe Talrand gets the cut. Let's take Izamaru. Izamaru. There we go. Underground Sea, Madcap Skills, Devil's Play. Let's take the blue-black duel so that we can play Psychotog. No, we won't be playing Psychotog. Let's get rid of Disciple. And that. And that. So we still need to make 2 cuts. Ideally not creatures, if possible. The Vidalcan Shackles, I'll have to think about. It really depends on how many islands we're going to have. So yes, let me count for Talrand again. We've got You're an Enchantment. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've got 5 instants and sorceries. So I feel like Talrand does get the cut. Vidalcan Shackles, let's keep you in play for a moment. So we really don't want to cut a creature for our last cut. Maybe a Johnny does get the cut. Because his +1 we really want. Actually, his +1 and his -3, we both need creatures for them to work, and we may not have them. So I think, unfortunately, a Johnny gets the cut. And I think that's our 23. We do have a Precursor Golem I forgot about. I don't know if I'd be hitting it with many things. Not instants and sorceries anyways. So maybe, Precursor Golem probably isn't the best. So I think we just go with that. We'll put in Tundra, add our basics. 10 and 6. I think that's about right. So that gives us 11 white sources and 7 blue sources. It means with Vidalcan Shackles we can Best case scenario, capture something up to 6. So maybe Vidalcan Shackles isn't actually a good choice. Maybe if we see a creature that we really want, that's ideally 3 or 4 power. Is it power or toughness? Power. If we see something we really want worth 3 or 4, maybe we side it in. So does Talrand come back in? Or Karmic Guide? Both are double mana. I think Talrand comes back in. So let's go with that. Add basic lands. 9/7, sure. So there's our deck. No idea what it does. I think it is sort of blue-white flyers with a bit of control. So we'll see how it does. It has Jace the Mind Sculptor, so I guess we can check that checkbox off. But we'll see how this goes. I will see you guys for round 1.